What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we are back on the debate manual versus automatic. Today we're going to compare these two Ford Mustang GTs, which stock will have a 5-liter naturally aspirated V8 with around 460 horsepower. Both of these have Ford dealership installed Roush superchargers pumping out 750 horsepower. So it is going to be very cool to see how a 6-speed manual and a 10-speed automatic compare with this kind of power. And then before we begin, I gotta give a huge shout out and thank you to Champion Car Company for providing both of these supercharged GT Mustangs for today's video. Take a look at their website, linked down below. They have an awesome selection of pre-owned vehicles and they do consignment. Currently, my GTR, my R35 Nissan GTR is for sale with them. I'll have that listing down below as well. But if you're looking for some sweet Mustangs and great pre-owned cars, check out Champion down below. Now, I recently filmed a manual versus automatic video on the Toyota Supra, so now we're on to the Americans. So let's take these for a spin and see what kind of differences you're gonna find with a high horsepowered American muscle car. So then we're gonna start off driving in the 10-speed automatic GT Mustang with 750 horsepower. That is really cool though that this is a Ford dealership installed package. It's like $11,000 and it really cranks up the horsepower with 200. Now, if we look at modern automatics, there are a lot of pros. They are significantly faster. You're gonna look at lap times in 0 to 60 times, quarter-mile times. The 10-speed automatic is significantly faster than a 6-speed manual. The computer, the transmission just shifts a lot more. 10-speed is also gonna give you better efficiency because you have more gears to play with to keep those revs down. And obviously, an automatic vehicle is a lot more practical and convenient. Anybody can drive it, you don't have to worry about traffic. So there are a lot of pros. On paper, automatics are better in every single way. Now, in the manual, of course, we're gonna go over some of the benefits in that once we're in the car. Drawbacks to the automatic is the fun factor. It's gonna take it away a little bit as far as just the engagement with the vehicle. Now, we're gonna have some fun with this. If I tone it up, we can go into all the different drive modes. We'll go Sport Plus mode. And if I bump it down into the Sport, and do the manual mode with the shift paddles, I'm not the biggest fan of the 10-speed using the shift paddles. I feel like they're just not the most engaging paddle shifters. With that said, let's see what this automatic Mustang feels like when getting up to some speed. That tail end gets out pretty easily. So the fun factor with an automatic car like this, it is endless power. It just keeps accelerating, it gets up and goes, and there's really no issues with it. So you certainly have the convenience and that uninterruption in power. If we do another acceleration, getting back up to some speed. I mean, effortless just goes. Now again, back to the 10-speed, I don't like the paddles in these. It's nothing like a dual clutch, it's nothing like a ZF 8-speed automatic. So I feel like in the Mustang GT, if you're gonna drive the automatic version of this, I don't think you're really gonna use the paddles all too much. I feel like 10 gears is too much to where you're just constantly shifting and it doesn't really feel like separate gear ratios. They almost just feel like a continuation of all the gears. So if we go back into drive, get rid of the paddle shifting now. Wow. All right, we are in sport mode, so it is pretty aggressive. If we tone that back down into normal mode, it'll tone back down. This is a lot better now in automatic. Let the car do the shifting, and it is just endless power, and it goes and goes. It shifts so quickly. I feel like when you're shifting this car with the paddles, it almost has a slower shift. So honestly, this car shines just driving it like an automatic car. Back into Sport Plus mode, this thing is quick. Wow. And you can hear those shift just so quickly. The gear ratios are definitely interesting. But there is a fun factor, I'd say, to a car like this having the automatic, because now you get to use that power endlessly. It is just nothing but power, and you can just focus on the driving. Now with that, another downfall with the automatics is the fact that it kind of takes away driver skill. I know a lot of people honestly buy this exact car pretty much, drag race it, and are really pumped that they smoked another car. it's really just the car versus the other car. You as a driver, it's just your reaction time. Other than that, point the car straight and the car's doing all the work. If you have two manual cars like this that are set up nicely, now all of a sudden you're actually comparing the driver's skill, and you as a driver are a good driver because you can drive it faster than the next guy in the comparable car. So with an automatic performance machine like this, it kind of takes the skill out. It's not really that hard to mash the gas and keep this thing in a straight line. Some people have issues with keeping these cars in straight lines, but you know, that's all there is. So with that said, getting my bearings with the automatic car, I do like the fact that uninterrupted power, it's fast. You just step on the gas and go. You can still then tone this car down, put it into normal mode, and you know, drive it like a daily. You can daily this, you got back seats and a trunk. So this is a very usable vehicle, very practical. It could be your only car, drive it all the time, and you will have no issues. And when you want to have some fun, you give it a little bit of gas. The Supercharger's instant. The transmission is as quick as you want. And she moves. All right, so we are now flipping around to the 6-speed manual transmission Roush Supercharged Mustang GT. So what are the downfalls with a manual? Honestly, in today's world, there are a ton of downfalls. This is a slower transmission. You're simply not going to be able to do a quick acceleration in this compared to the automatic. And no matter how much I think I'm a good manual driver, I will never shift this as fast as that automatic is going to shift. Drag racing, track racing, the manual is always going to be a slower car when you're comparing just the numbers. Other drawbacks, this is a 6-speed versus a 10-speed. It's not going to be as economical. You're going to get better gas mileage in the automatic. And the biggest one is the fact that this is cumbersome. You've got to work the car. You have to do everything. Bumper to bumper traffic can kind of get a little annoying, having to clutch shift, all that stuff. So there's a lot of downfalls on paper. Now, the benefit of a manual, number one, is theft deterrent. Nobody knows how to drive a stick shift these days. So most likely your car probably won't get stolen, which is kind of cool. The biggest benefit is the fact that this is an engaging car to drive. It requires skill. It is fun. It lets me know that I am making the car perform the way it should perform because I'm driving it well. And like I was saying in the automatics, anybody can take one of those fast. Anybody can drive a fast car fast. Not everybody can drive a fast manual transmission car fast. If you are not good at your shifting, you miss a shift, don't do it quite good enough for something, the other person is going to be faster than you. So this is a car that lets you as a driver get your skill set up for you to become a better driver. And I think that alone is the reason why I've bought manuals, why I currently own a manual, and why people buy a manual. So to me, the fun factor is huge. It lets you just be one with the car and just enjoy it so much. Now let's get on it a little bit, feel out this kind of power. We're gonna have that interruption in acceleration because I have to take a split second to do a gear change, but we'll see if that makes it any less fun. Dude, this thing scoots. Personally, I like this a lot better. I really do. I like the manuals. You know, I'm 29 years old. Not that old, but I'm still from the generation to where we like the manuals. It seems like the younger generation has a different take. You know, when I filmed the Supra video, I had so many comments who said, hey, on paper, automatics are better in every single way. Why would you buy a manual? This is fun and engaging. And honestly, I feel like it almost lets you enjoy the power more in a sense because each gear feels different. The 10-speed, it's just an endless power delivery, which is cool if you want to have acceleration. Not gonna lie, it's fast, it's fun. But this lets you have 6 different types of your car. There's 6 different gears where you can enjoy how the power is going to handle. And I love in between shifts, like this is so rewarding to drive. You can't put a price on that. You can't quantify the fun that the manual gives you. I think that's the biggest thing that some people just don't understand. So to me, by far any performance car, aside from when you get really fast, like all-wheel drive supercars, you know, my Nissan GTR that's for sale, 700 horsepower, very similar to these. It's got a dual clutch all-wheel drive. That is all about precision, fast power. that kind of car, it could be hard to keep up with the power. This power, while it's very similar, is a little bit slower power delivery to where you can still have fun with this in a manual. If this made 1,000 horsepower, you know, it's probably a little hard to manage in a stick shift. And if you're doing that, you're probably really all about those times, so you want that automatic. But 750, this is such a good blend where I can still feel like I use all the power in this car and I get to enjoy it all. And I feel so engaged driving this kind of performance with a stick shift. So to me, that one and only benefit, the driver engagement, is the selling factor. I will say, I gotta give props to modern automatics. Back in the day, you know, you might have a 4-speed or a 5-speed automatic in a car like this, and the 6-speed manual significantly going to be a better and more fun to drive car. See, that right there, that doesn't get old. That is insanely fun. But back to the automatics, because they are getting so much better than before with extra gears, they're actually fun enough to where you can still use the car as you would want to. I feel like the fun factor in modern automatics has increased so much to where you're not really sacrificing anymore. I don't think it's a matter of which car is more fun or which car is better. I think it's more of what kind of fun do you want to have in your car. For me, I don't really care about doing lap times or drag racing to where I want to be a split second faster than the next guy. I want to have fun like this. I want to be on the back roads around town, getting up to speed on the highway, going on mountain road trips where I'm not timing my day. I don't care about being, you know, that split second quicker. I'm just in it for the fun. I want to enjoy the car. I want to have a lot of power, of course, to be in something other than a boring stock car. And this is where it's at. But with the automatic, I'd say you buy that car if you actually genuinely are going to be doing lap time stuff to where you want to be faster. Obviously, winning's winning, and you can do that. I gotta say, from a side note, from automatic versus manual, this car is a blast. Oh my gosh, 750 horsepower supercharged manual Mustang. This is where it's at if you're looking for a muscle car. This thing is sweet. But concluding it before we get back to the parking lot, overall, on paper, automatics are better in every single way you can slice it. But the driver engagement from a manual, it is raw, it is mechanical. I am the reason this car is performing so good right now because I am doing the right things. I'm shifting well, I'm having fun making the car work. In the automatic, it just takes that person out of it to where the car's doing all the work. And that's kind of the biggest thing I think with people who would prefer manuals. But you know, if you're gonna be lap time and doing that sort of thing, and you do prefer just feeling that power all the time, get the automatic. You can daily it better. It's a little bit more practical like that, and you can enjoy just ripping on it and just playing with the power. Not a not fun way to do things. For me though, I like it a little more old school. I want to be the person controlling this transmission. Oh, this is so engaging, and that does not come across on paper. So with that said, comment below, what do you guys think, manual or automatic? What is the better transmission to go for? And comparing these kind of cars, these Mustangs, what would you rather have, the 10-speed automatic or the 6-speed manual? I really enjoyed rolling through the gears. I don't like the paddle shifters on the Mustangs at all. They're not really too engaging. There's better automatics out there, ZF 8-speeds, dual clutches. However, leaving that thing in automatic mode certainly is a blast, just mashing the gas and going, but you can't argue with the old school feeling. So that is it then for today's video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content. And a big shout out and thank you once again to Champion Car Company. They have an awesome selection of pre-owned cars. They also do really cool consignment deals. My GTR is consigned with them currently, so check out Champion Car Company. That is it, guys. I will see you all in the next video.